Hey y'all, it's your girl Cass. Welcome to my page, channel, podcast. I used to start adding that in there. But I hope everybody's having a beautiful, magical, abundant, blissful Sunday today. A topic that I wanted to talk about today was having to do with relationships. So I did a beautiful podcast with one of my reflections yesterday. And we was talking about the Trinity, and we got into the conversation about relationships or whatever, and it just made me think about some things that we could probably get misconstrued when we're going into relationships, as far as like treatment, right? Because we was talking about roles, and because one of the questions was, what do you define as a masculine woman and what do you define as a masculine man, right? And so it just got me to think about something that I feel like be confusing in getting to know someone, or just how like relationships operate in general, right? So it made me think about the difference between treatment and like learning me, or just learning your partner in general, right? So treatment, I want to go by the definition, by the way, right? So treatment is the manner in which someone behaves towards or deal with someone or something, right? And so when you are going into a relationship, I feel like treatment is like a non-negotiable. I feel like treatment is something that you should already know how to do going into a relationship, like how to be with someone. For example, if you're looking to be in a relationship, you should know that you should be respectable. You should know that you have to be attentive, be present. You have to, learn the other person and give yourself time to find out what those things are. But on the general, you should know how to treat them, right? The same way you should know how to treat like your family members or friends. You're not just gonna treat them like they're trash. You're not gonna be disrespectful. You're not gonna dishonor them. And or like, okay, in a relationship, you have to be faithful, you have to be loving, you have to just show up, basically. And I think people misconstrue that with learning a person. Those are two different things. So I feel like going into a relationship, you should know how to be in a relationship. And if you don't, do the research, ask people who are in a relationship, like figure it out. Because even for me, when I was first, I only say I was in one official relationship, right? And before that, I never really been in a relationship. And there were things I had to learn and pay attention to. And like they had to tell me like, hey, I'm doing all of this. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I really learned how to be in a relationship from that situation, basically. Because in high school or younger than that, like, I was in a relationship. I was always by myself. So I really didn't know how to be with someone. And I can honestly say that. Do I know now? Absolutely. How I'm supposed to show up, what reciprocation looks like in a relationship, what paying attention, being attentive, being present looks like, or catering to your partner. I learned all of that in like one relationship, literally, right? And but there was other things outside of that, where so that was me learning how to be in a relationship, just how to treat somebody that I'm with, right? What do those characteristics looks like? What do those qualities look like? That is totally different from learning someone, or like understanding their love languages, for example. So I feel like if you're in a relationship, you're gonna need all the love languages. I know some people be like, oh, I just like this and this. And then I'm just like, no, all of them are gonna come into play some kind of way, shape, or form. It's just, do you prefer maybe one more than the other, where you like words of affirmation or acts of service more than receiving gifts or something like that. But I feel like any true relationship is gonna embody all of these things. So if you don't know, love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts. And it's funny because the other day, somebody mentioned food is a love language. But that's what I mean. When you get to know your person, you're gonna know what makes them feel appreciated, what makes them feel loved, what makes them feel good, that they are who you are, they are who they are, and that's who you want to be, right? So that's gonna take time, that's gonna take energy. Received. That's what is going to take time and energy for you to get to learn, and for you guys to actually have those conversations, right? So because they are specific to you, they are specific to your liking, to what you want. It may look different in other people, but that is what works for you, right? So because I don't believe that when you get with somebody that you're supposed to, I mean, you could, because it's honestly not rocket science if you're really paying attention. But it's not like I've known you my whole life that I know all of the details, or been intimate with you for that long or a period of time that I would know what these things are. And so that's why communication is important, but also paying attention. Because usually what I notice is too, just me speaking, like, I'm a type of person, whatever I do for the other person is usually what I want in return. Okay, so they probably will start doing things that they like, and then eventually it's gonna modify to what you like, but they may be the same or they may be different. So it's important to learn each other, take the time to, pay attention, have those conversations, and be honest, because I think sometimes we just assume like people are gonna be the same way like you are, or just even in conversation, you may be like a straight to the point, blunt person, but then this person is a little bit more sensitive. So it's how you say it to them that's gonna be more productive compared to you saying it very bluntly, where they might take it as an attack or feel like you're not putting it considered, like, become defensive or hurt by the situation, which is never the goal, because the goal should be to come to a common ground and have understanding for one another, and be able to, empathize with one another and do the work, basically. And so I don't want anybody to think that you're a psychic and that you should just automatically know what your person wants are, or likes or dislike, what their triggers are. That's going to take time and energy for you to learn those things. But as far as treatment, princess treatment, like queen, goddess treatment, and god, king treatment, that should be an automatic for somebody that you say that you want or want to pursue, or want to build with and love. Like, that should not be like rocket science. And if so, again, look at examples of successful relationships and marriages, unions, whatever you want to call them. Pay attention to that, because that's what's gonna allow you to build a sort of intimacy, connection, that nobody else would know, because now that's your person. You know them like the back of your own hand. You can read them. You can tell when they're upset. You can tell when they're happy. You can tell, how to surprise them. You know what they want are, their needs are, because I'm a type of person, I'll be like, my wants are my needs. I really don't see a difference between the two. So it's just about putting in the work and knowing that it's gonna take work. being in a relationship is not easy because you're not in your own little world no more. Now you have to be present about somebody else's world and how they function, and then merging the two where we can coexist and, you know, thrive off of each other. So I just wanted to put that out there because I feel like there's a common misconception when it comes to those things, like treatment and then getting to know you as a person, like learning each other. Those are two separate things and energies, because one just could, it's supposed to just come out, like come automatically as far as somebody you're dealing with and want to build with, and then one is going to take time and energy and attention to learn those things about that specific person. But I hope this makes sense. Thank you all for stopping by or watching. If you like what I'm talking about, and if you have any suggestions too that you want me to speak about and want to like know my perspective on things, please like comment, drop it down below, and I'll definitely take my time to, you know, dig deep and figure out what that is, or just even add perspective to it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great, abundant, blissful rest of your day, Divine Reflections. If nobody told you, let me be the first one to tell you I love you. And I'll see you guys next time.